insane.
Mr.
This is
Rubiales.
an outrage. This
Mr. Rubiales.
is torture.
All right, okay. Okay, Mr. Rubiales. I have some questions here for you, okay? Now, do you know why you're here?
I'm here because I'm a man.
No, you're here because you allegedly kissed someone without their consent. That's assault, Mr. Rubiales.
No.
Okay.
No.
So,
This
before we ask
is
any further
assault.
questions,
That's
Mr.
how you guys
Rubiales,
got my good friend
would you
Epstein
like to have
and P. Diddy
an attorney?
and R. Kelly.
Did you say a good friend?
Yeah.
You're going to jail.
So today, guys, we're going to be starting off in the second Farmers League, which is Ligue 1. Yes, and we do have... Okay, let's be for real. We don't really have much big matches going on in Ligue 1. The only two matches that are really important this week is PSG at Clermont Foot and Brest against Metz. Now, the Brest against Metz game is pretty much a sealed deal. Metz have not really been in the greatest form, so for sure it does seem to me that Brest is going to cruise to an easy win. Now, PSG going against Clermont Foot is an absolute easy win. They were 10-man down the last game and still found a way to win. This game, Clermont Foot is pretty much everyone's punching bag. So for sure, they're going to win. So for this weekend, Ligue 1, we have PSG taking it 3 points and Brest taking it 3 points. Now, moving on to the first Farmers League, the Bundesliga, which is now Leverkusen land. Congratulations, Bayer Leverkusen, because honestly, unless they go on some crazy losing streak, doesn't seem to me that Bayern is going to come back anytime soon, especially after last week's performance losing to Dortmund. Now, this week, we do have a couple of, big matches. Dortmund is going against Stuttgart. Bayern is going against Heidenheim, which more than likely should be a win for Bayern. And RB Leipzig is going against Freiburg. We also have the biggest match, which would be Bayer Leverkusen playing Union Berlin. All these matches are going to be happening today, so looking forward for an action-packed weekend. And it's time for Pizzaville, or Mario Land, or whatever you want it to be, or I guess this season, Inter Milan Station?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, look, I'm not the best at this, but it's perfectly fine. This week, in Serie A, we do have a couple of, big matches. We have Milan going against Lecce, which should be a good, entertaining match. We do have Roma going against Lazio. I do believe Lazio did beat Juventus in their last showing. To be honest, Lazio hasn't really been on that great of a form. So it's up to Roma now to see about putting them down. Now, the other matches that are going on would be for Juventus going against Fiorentina, which should be a pretty good match as well. And the top match of this week for Serie A, which would be Udinese versus Inter. And that is all that we have for Serie A this week. Now, for La Liga. So, there aren't any matches going on this week in La Liga. I do believe they are going on some form of Easter break. The next matches will be for next week. The only match that happened this week was a match that happened on Thursday between Granada and Valencia. So, aside from that match, there isn't any action going on in La Liga this weekend. So, here's to next weekend. Now, time for the top of the top 5 leagues, the EPL. Now, let's get right into it. We do have some really big matches. Let's start off with the 4th and 5th place, which would be Aston Villa versus Brentford. We also have Tottenham going against Nottingham Forest, which should be a really good match. And for the top 3, we're going to first start off with Brighton versus Arsenal. Now, Brighton versus Arsenal should be a big clash. Brighton, I believe they lost their last game. Haven't really been on the greatest form. So going into this match, Arsenal might pit them to it. More than likely they will. We'll just have to see what happens. And going on to Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace has always been some type of bogey team for Manchester City. So, well, we'll just have to see what happens in this match. But for me, I think Arsenal and Manchester City both pull off that win and get that 3 points. And last but not least, the biggest match of this weekend will be Liverpool going against Manchester United. Now, the reason it is the biggest match is because they are really the two biggest rivals in English Premier League football. Now, I do believe that Liverpool and Klopp's kids will just about edge Manchester United out. However, after their last game in the FA Cup, you can't really rule them out, it seems. So, just goes to show, never, ever rule out Manchester United. And we are looking forward to that match. Let's go. Well, guys, I do want to thank you guys for joining us again in this weekly roundup. I do appreciate all the support that you guys give, and hopefully we can continue to give you guys more and more content moving forward. I do want to thank you again for being the greatest audience ever. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day and an absolutely awesome rest of your weekend. Goodbye.
Here we go.